Awesome, exciting, incredible, thrilling, smooth. None of these words can be applied to the coasters on this list. I have ridden over 300 roller coasters at this point, and in that time I have learned that not every coaster is enjoyable. So today we're talking about the 10 absolute worst roller coasters I have ever ridden. So hold on, because there are going to be some real stinkers on here. Number 10, Gwazi Busch Gardens Tampa. In fairness to this GCI Woody, it didn't ride like it did during its prime. But considering its prime is so short-lived, I think most people would agree it was riding horribly in its final years. Gwazi commits two cardinal sins of being rough and boring at the same time. The Florida sun isn't kind to wooden coasters, and Gwazi is a testament to that. Every valley was filled with jackhammering and each crest was a snooze fest. Number 9, Corkscrew at Cedar Point. Now there are 3 coasters that are very similar which I could have put into the slot, with Alton Towers Vekoma, Python at Busch Gardens Tampa and Corkscrew at Cedar Point. I'm going to be picking the latter here as it's the most recent experience that I have had. When talking about arrow loopers, most people complain about the head banging, but I didn't have that problem. As someone who's above 6 foot, the tight trains and bulk restraints on Corkscrew are unfortunate to put it lightly. I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying I was in constant pain from the moment that I sat down. Not 1 second was remotely enjoyable, but it does look cool though. Number 8, The Joker, Six Flags Great Adventure. My first and hopefully last S&S 4D free spin. I thought the Intamin Zack spins were bad, but this version is just even worse. It has the gall to be over a minute long. 10 seconds is too long for this ride type. To put it plainly, I just didn't like being rocked back and forth. At this point in my life it's just unpleasant, and all the Joker does is rock you back and forth like a disgruntled babysitter. Number 7, Condor Wallaby Holland. I don't hate SLCs. I don't think they're good, but I don't think they're the worst. Except Condor. Condor is woefully bad. The demand for inverted coasters must have been high, because I don't know how Vekoma were able to sell more SLCs after this dumpster fire of a prototype. Not only does your head rattle side to side, it also violently shakes you up and down. What makes this the worst SLC is its profiling. For as much hate as a standard SLC gets, at least Vekoma sorted out some of the awful track shaping on the first drop. Never again. Number 6, Tulireki, Linnanmäki. Tulireki is comically bad. It's one of only 2 built Mack Emotion coasters. After riding Tulireki, I can understand why this model never took off. The idea is that the car can drift and move somewhat independently while riding the track. Unfortunately, the result is not only underwhelming, as the car never moves that much, but it also makes the ride incredibly rough, likely due to the rider's centre of gravity being off. It feels like riding a faulty shopping trolley at 40 miles an hour. It fails in everything it wants to achieve, but despite this I don't hate it as much as other coasters on this list. If there is ever a so bad it's good category for coasters, Mack's Emotion coaster would definitely fit that bill. Number 5, Stampeder Portaventura. I'll give Stampeder a little bit of credit for the dueling element, but everything else on this coaster is complete crap. It's rough from the second it hits the first valley and it doesn't stop the onslaught until it hits the brakes. Why Portaventuras chose the boxy, terrible Goomback trains above the original PTCs I will never know. Number 4, Steeplechase Blackpool Pleasure Beach. While I appreciate the historic value of Blackpool Steeplechase, it cannot be denied it's one of the most painful coasters out there, especially if you are taller as your centre of gravity is way off. At every turn the sharp laterals threw my back sideways, causing me back pain for the rest of the day. The ride also ends with brakes that are so sharp it feels like you've just been in a car crash. As iconic as it is, Steeplechase is just too painful to warrant any future rides. Number 3, Wild Mouse Blackpool Pleasure Beach. The most controversial pick on this list is Blackpool's defunct wooden Wild Mouse. Most enthusiasts swear by it as being the best coaster at Pleasure Beach. Personally though, I never liked it. There's a difference to a coaster being rough and painful. Wild Mouse was the latter. While I would admit it was certainly wild, it just wasn't fun enough to justify the cuts and bruises it would give me after one single ride. Pain is the best word to describe this 1950s Woody. Number 2, Viking Coaster Energylandia. Take a below average, forgettable family coaster, then add over the shoulder restraints. The result, a memorable ride, but for all the worst reasons. Each hairpin turn felt like my head was in a pinball machine. Spinning in the second half only makes matters worse as I couldn't brace myself for the onslaught that was to follow. I've never heard anyone say anything remotely positive about this ride, whether it's enthusiasts or the general public. Everyone hates this coaster, and it's for a good reason. Number 1, Toboggan. Picture the scene. You're enclosed in a little van. so cramped that your head is below your shoulders. The vehicle judders as it makes its vertical climb up a chimney. It then turns left more than any NASCAR driver, the repetitive motion making you feel sick. Then BAM! Your head is slammed into the ceiling of the van as the track drops beneath you, causing sharp and instant pain. As soon as you can feel anything below the neck, your head is slammed again. This is a chance toboggan and it's without a doubt the worst roller coaster I've ever been on. Pure evil in roller coaster form. That's my list for the worst roller coasters I have ridden. Is there anything that you think is worse or that should be mentioned? Please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.